Yo, we're back with another guide. This one has been heavily requested of us since the first video, but today we're going to be going over metal sets. This will be a comprehensive breakdown on metal sets and everything you need to know. There is a lot of information overload on metals, as well as a lot of misinformation spread throughout the community. It can all be very overwhelming, so we're going to cover the 6 basic components you need to understand metals. The types of metals, transfer metals, metal point exchange, maximizing stat limit, utilizing tag benefits, and then finally managing your metals. Now first up, let's cover the most basic of basics. What are metals? In One Piece Bounty Rush, metals are equipable tools to make characters stronger by providing traits and boosts. Depending on the level of character, you can equip up to 3 metals to create a metal set. Optimized metal sets enhance stats and provide bonuses to make up for areas that the character lacks, or accentuate already existing abilities to make them better, like increased damage, faster skill cooldowns, improved capture speed, or speed upon respawn, to note a few. Metals have 3 trait slots, and traits can be fully customized to your liking provided you have the transfer traits. By upgrading metals and pairing metals tags correctly, you can customize your character to better suit your preferred playstyle. Now onto the first components of understanding metals, the types of metals. There are 3 basic types: character metals, transfer metals, and event metals. Character metals are crafted using fragments from gameplay. Transfer metals are non-craftable metals with fixed stats gained from league rewards, challenge battle, and metal point shops. Event metals are limited time metals that cannot be crafted or upgraded after the event period is over. They are pink colored, drop in pairs, and usually have the option for better stats, which is huge. Oftentimes, only one of the metals is actually very desirable, with much better stats or metal traits than the other, but either way, event metals are still very valuable and a big part of the game. Crafting metals is going to be how you obtain metals in this game. However, to craft metals, you need character metal fragments. These fragments can be obtained through several different methods. First up, we have your solo matches. By playing the 60-second battle mode, you win a guaranteed 3 character metal frags for each character used, and it takes 3 metal frags to make a medal. 1 medal per successful win. Next up, we have the Cola Shop. Now, it's a very limited selection, but you can obtain a small variety of pink event medals through the Cola Shop for free once you've started accruing cola. These medals won't be best in slot or the most desirable, however, they will be used to help complete the NL set and a child damage reduction set for runners. Next up, we have League Battle. You can earn character metal fragments through a variety of factors in League Battle. Your playable character, as well as your support, and all of the characters currently being played in the match have an opportunity to drop character fragments at the end of each match. Event metal frags will also drop at the end of matches during their current event runtimes. Now this last one wasn't listed because it's a bit different. Character ranking medals are made from character rank fragments. You earn these special character metal fragments by ranking in the top 500 while using specific characters in League Battle. These medals are no different than their non-colored counterparts, and they are purely a flex. You get 1 colored medal frag per season entry to the top 500, so to have a single colored medal, you have to have ranked in the top 500 for 3 consecutive seasons. Now that we've covered classifications for medals, let's get into the next steps. You've crafted a medal, upgraded it all 3 steps, you like what you see, you want to keep the medal and make it a little better. This is where transferring traits comes in. You can do this with transfer metals. They come in 2 different options. Gold transfer metals, which guarantee 1 trait at 100% chance. Only 1 trait because it is the best possible outcome. Silver transfer metals are your other option. They provide 3 traits, each with 33.3% chance of popping. You can get up to 5 retransfers using rainbow diamonds on each chance for the best possible outcome. Transfer metals are used so that you can get specified traits easier, but when you don't have transfer metals and need better traits on your medals, you still have options. If you have multiple copies of the same medal with desirable traits on each medal, you can transfer 1 trait to the other. You will have to select a base medal and then transfer the other one there. However, this will come at the cost of losing the medal with the traits you want to transfer. This is why we craft and upgrade as many of the same medals as possible and as many as events will allow. RNG isn't always going to be your friend, and good traits are very hard to come by. Patience is needed. All of these options that we've listed so far have been percentage based. Now, we're going to reference a video that we made a few months back. This is another video which we would still recommend regarding specifically on how to build your metal sets. We're going to reference that video here, which will lead us to another basic tenet and our next topic. We can cover some basics. The first up is that 70% is going to be the max you can boost a stat. To get that 70%, max flat stats are 300 for defense and attack, while I believe it is... I didn't write notes back in the day. It's 1,200, not 1,000. So if we're taking things one step at a time, flat stat is a term used in the community to describe these transfer metals. Specifically, they have traits that do not provide a percentage-based increase, rather they are set stat amounts. They come in several varieties. We have the best options dropping as placement rewards for league battles, and 2 less desirable options in the metal shop. League transfer metals are gold transfer metals obtained by reaching S tier in league battles. Each season features different traits: attack for 160, defense for 160, or HP for 640. There are also flat stat transfer metals that can be purchased with metal points from the Metal Point Exchange Shop. The Metal Point Exchange Shop uses a currency that we just listed called metal points that can be obtained from selling crafted metals. Typically, once you've reached the point where you don't desperately need metals to equip to your support, metals with no desired traits, 6-star and under, are good to sell for metal points. The flat transfer metals are less desirable from this shop because you can never max the flat stat limit with them. I don't suggest buying them often, however, they can be helpful. These metals only provide 130 max for attack and defense, and 520 max for HP. Silver transfer metals cost 1,000 points, which is passable, but gold transfer metals cost 6,000 points. A complete waste of resources. Please don't make the mistake of exchanging for these. You can give yourself 6 chances by buying 6 silvers for the cost of 1 gold, only to still be under the stat limit. It's a very raw deal. We don't recommend it. Next up, we have metal attributes. As we covered previously, metals provide stats that influence gameplay through health, attack, and defense increases. The goal should be to upgrade your metals fully and transfer traits onto them, bringing them to the overall value of 9 stars. Min-maxing your stat waste and optimization of metals is a constant process, especially when building versatile sets that can be used across multiple characters. If you forget the standards, you can always check the limits on the Limits tab to make it easier to optimize metal stats without exceeding the max values. Now we come to the tag effects. Metals with specific tags provide additional set bonuses when combined appropriately, enhancing gameplay. Additionally, sets with more synergy or paired tags will have higher set bonus scores than those with little to no tags. And with our final component, we have the evaluation of metals. What do we mean by evaluating your metals regularly? Assessing the attributes of crafted metals, flagging metals worth keeping, and throwing out the ones that you don't need. There's no metal inventory limit in Bounty Rush, so as you can imagine, it can be a little hectic. Looking for certain metals when you've never tossed anything out is kinda rough. Again, you will be given metal points for the exchange from selling these already crafted metals, and as an added bonus, they don't have to be upgraded at all for you to acquire the currency. However, you don't get very much from a 0-star metal. Now, we've just presented you with all of this information. We're going to give you a practical application. Here are the best strategies for upgrading metals in Bounty Rush. I want to start this section by saying the very minimum you can do for your account is to always have something upgrading. There won't always be event metals going on to upgrade, but that's not all you should be doing. In general, with metals, the average upgraded metal comes out to about 6 stars with maybe 1 or 2 desirable traits. But more often than not, RNG will not be your friend. Fully upgraded 3-star metals do happen from time to time. So with that said, let's talk about where to go from there. You've already upgraded a metal 3 steps, you don't like all the traits but want to use the metal anyway, you need transfer metals. So let's get into it. So starting back at the top, you're going to have to use some common sense and understand the transfer metal types and weigh out the pros and cons of whether or not you want to use your limited gold transfer metals for that perfect guaranteed rate, or if you want to take a risk and go for multiple traits, accepting some randomness with that 33% per trait on the silver transfer metals. With silver transfer metals and with transferring traits off of character metals, you can opt for a retransfer using rainbow diamonds up to 5 times to refine the traits for the best possible outcome. Always remember to participate in the exclusive metal events. They provide unique advantages and oftentimes can't be obtained later. Something worth noting is that these metal events do give some of the best metal resources for free simply by just crafting and upgrading the metals. Always remember to participate in each metal event, even if they don't seem very worth. When in this crafting process, you have to remember to trade out the crafted metals for metal points. Sell your metals with lower, lesser desirable traits for these crafted points to acquire the silver flat stat metals, or if you're feeling like spending a little bit, you can always purchase the Metal Rush Pass and get some of the exclusive event medals running throughout the week. They're not always worth, but they do have some really good ones that come through every now and again. Here we come to one of the most difficult aspects to understand, the stat limits. You have to pay attention to the maximum limits for stats like HP, attack, and defense when you're upgrading. You can't exceed these limits, and going beyond them may waste potential transfer trait medals and stats that you had on character medals. We will now be listing the following limitations on stats. For attack, there is a max percentage of 70% with a max flat stat of 300. For defense, it follows the same, a max of 70% with a max flat of 300 as well. HP is a little different, however, with a max percentage value of 70% and a max flat stat increase of 1200. Critical is also maxed out at 70%. Capture speed will be capped out at 40%, with dodge cooldown, skill 1 cooldown, and skill 2 cooldown reduction capped at 30% respectively. There are also additional limitations for max damage increase and max damage reduction set to 30%, as well as all status reduction limits set to 70%, and increased melee damage will be capped at 30% as well. These stats and their caps allow for strategic customization of characters, helping you customize your experience to capture flags faster or reduce cooldowns to reuse skills more frequently. Now, I don't know if you've missed this or not, but none of the transferring options that I've listed have provided options for increased melee damage, skill 1 cooldown, skill 2 cooldown, dodge increase. All of these options come through metal traits. Metal traits will be the upgrades that you have to tailor to your specific role. For attackers, focus on skill cooldowns or attack boosting medals. Damage increases and advantages against typings are huge for attackers. For defenders, we recommend prioritizing your HP and defense traits, stuff like damage reduction, as well as traits that revolve around being on your team's flag. For runners, enhanced capture speed is huge. Damage reduction or increase, depending on the type of playstyle the unit requires, can be useful, and traits based around being on the opponent's flag. You notice for defenders we said being on your flag, and for runners we said on the opponent's flag. That's because as a defender, you're filling your flag all the time. There's no need for you to fight on the enemy flag. And for runners, you're constantly trying to take the enemy's flag from them. All of your bonuses should revolve around doing your job and being on enemy territory. Next up, we have the area a lot of people struggle with, the tag system. You must combine medals with the same tags to activate set bonuses. Typically, the first 4 tags on a medal provide skill 1 and 2 cooldowns, dodge cooldowns, and capture speed. It's not always the case, but for most medals you notice this trend. The more common tags medals share, the better the medal set rating. So for example, consider medals that share the same location tag like Wano, Whole Cake Island, or Egghead for skill 1 cooldown reduction bonus. Consider pairing medals with the same crew tags like Straw Hat Pirates, Navy, Cypher Pole, Blackbeard Pirates, Big Mom Pirates, Animal Kingdom Pirates, etc. for additional skill 2 cooldown reduction bonuses. So the third slot will be optional. If this character is a Devil Fruit user, Logia, Paramecia, or Zoan, they will have an additional boost to dodge cooldown reduction. If they happen to be one of the many non-power user units in this game, that third slot will be missing. There will be no dodge cooldown reduction, and instead it will be just replaced with the fourth slot, which is crew type. Navigator, Helmsman, Doctor, Cook, Sniper, Shipwright, Archaeologist, and Captain all affect cap speed. The more tags, the better. Oftentimes, these crewmate medal sets that aren't Captain will be left out due to a lack of tags. Most standard non-Devil Fruit users only have 2 to 3 tags max, while other characters like Luffy and Kaido have some of the most tags in the game, resulting in some of the best sets in the game being Luffy and Kaido sets. I don't have this part scripted, so it's going to be a lot more fluid, but a lot of One Piece captains like Bonnie, Eustace Kid, Trafalgar Law, Luffy, Kaido, hell, even less desirable captains like Bartolomeo, they all have crazy metal synergy and a lot of tags if you pair them together. Some of the best sets in the game include Kaido sets, Luffy sets, and now, after the recent bonus, Law sets. When I create a metal set, I look into 2 or 3 factors. How many tags am I pairing? What kind of unit is this going into? And what are the metal traits looking like? If we're being completely honest, the Kaido set is the best metal set in the game, depending on how you want to swap it. There are event medals you can put in place of the third. There are step-up medals you can put in place of the third. There's a lot of options. As we let the medal set list continue to roll, we want to point out the fact that we did create a metal building video as well. This video is a guide on just understanding the basics because we didn't feel like there was a clear, concise guide on basics that was very prevalent in the community anymore. If you feel like you have a pretty good grasp on the basics now, but want to move on to the next steps, please go check out our video on building metal sets more effectively. It is a very thorough guide that still holds up even though the video is about 9 months old. In this video, we will discuss the basics for how to build a metal set across multiple characters, how to build a metal set for a character you're not planning on maxing, and what to do when you are planning on maxing that character with the same intended set. That will wrap this video up for today. Please let us know in the comments if you have any questions or need help further. We don't mind making more guides. Thank you so much for watching. Peace and love, dogs.